Polite Yoel. A lot of you might know me from Twitter. Basically all of you at this point know me from Twitter, but if you're new, hi, welcome. I'm Polite Yoel, like I said. This channel is just basically me talking about MMA and just predicting the fights and talking about the results and all that. I might also bring the news, but yeah, we'll see where this goes. Maybe I'm gonna stick with it, maybe not. I don't really know yet. But I'm just gonna have some fun with this. I asked you all questions on Twitter to get to know me or just ask some random shit. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, so for our first question from Harry Brimson. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to rail James Charles? I'm not gonna answer it. Shout out to Harry though. So the following question comes from Cheap Shot MMA. Do you have any idea of what kind of videos do you want to make? Yes, I do. Like I said, I just want to talk about MMA. I want to bring the news, break down fights, and discuss the results. I'm also going to do a little segment called MMA Review of the Month, where I'm basically gonna review MMA memes, and that's self-explanatory. So stay tuned for that. Next question comes from Lyrics MMA. What makes Joel your favorite fighter? That's a good question. I like Joel Romero mostly because of his character, like his personality. I think he's like a very funny individual. His fight style is kind of he's kind of boring sometimes, like when he's not knocking people out cold and fighting like he did Israel Adesanya, like then he's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to like him when he does that, but I mostly like Joel because he's a good dude in my opinion. So yeah. The next question comes from Stockton Kangaroo. He asks, will I ever find happiness? Not with that attitude. That one Eddie Bravo Chief asks, who would win in a fight, the Hulk or his weight in bees? Now, I think the Hulk, because the Hulk is basically immortal and yeah, bees die once they sting once, so I think that's kind of a mismatch. You also said that the bees will always win, which I have to disagree with you on that one. So yeah. Sharon Rajesh 17 asks 3 fights you want to see in 2021. That's a good question. 3 fights I would like to see. If we're talking about like realistic fights, we're getting Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar, which was a fight I wanted to see straight off of Calvin's win over Dan Ige. So I'm very happy with that. Another fight I would like, Tony Ferguson versus Paul Felder would be one hell of a scrap, as suggested by my cousin behind the camera. Figueiredo versus TJ Dillashaw at 135 would be a great fight if TJ gets his hand on the belt again, which I kind of doubt. I think 135 is a shark tank at this moment, and we'll have to see how TJ holds up in the new climate at 135. Hayden the Third just asks why. Yeah, I don't know. He follows that up with, would you shag Brian? I don't know who Brian is, but if he's good looking, I would. Critical Sandman asks, which fighter style do you hate the most? The fighter's style that I hate the most is Kamaru Usman. Listen, I know Kamaru Usman is a well-respected champ and he's very dominant in his wins and yada yada yada, but I think that style of just clinching people up against the fence, it's kind of boring. and I think a lot of people share that opinion with me. But hey, he does what he does to win. He's a great champion. I think he'll be champ for many fights, depending on if he gets past Burns. I think Burns is the worst stylistical matchup for Kamaru. If he gets past Burns, I think he's gonna be a very dominant champ. So yeah. Ooh, Levi MMA asks my first card I ever watched and my favorite fight ever. So I discovered the UFC a couple of years ago because of a highlight video of Michael Bisping versus Anderson Silva, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is amazing. So I started doing some research about MMA, and then I heard about Conor McGregor, and he was about to fight Floyd Mayweather. I kind of became a fan of McGregor. Like, I was very casual. I was fully convinced Conor would beat Mayweather because I was a casual, but I didn't watch that fight. And then his fight with Khabib was coming up. So UFC 229 was the first card I ever stayed up for and really watched. And then my favorite fight ever is probably, one of my favorite fights is definitely Poirier versus Hooker. I like Kelvin Gastelum versus Israel Adesanya. I think that was a fucking banger. Poirier versus Holloway, the main event of that card, was also a very good fight. So I think it's between those three. If I had to pick one, it would be Gastelum versus Adesanya. BMF Bisping asks, what's your favorite submission? My favorite submission ever is Damian Maia's the submission win over Ben Askren. That fight was goofy as fuck. Like, the striking that Ben Askren showed was so sloppy. He did like 5 spinning back fists, and the wrestling exchanges, like that funky wrestling that Ben Askren uses is hilarious. I also didn't like Ben Askren at the time. Yeah, Damian Maia's submission win over Ben Askren is my favorite submission. Sugar C asks me, which is your favorite UFC KO? My favorite UFC KO is, sorry Darren Till fans, but Masvidal's KO win over Darren Till. That was one of the first KOs where I was like really concerned for the other fighter. Darren Till hit the canvas like a building that just fell over. It was crazy, and the whole arena silent after that. I also became a Masvidal fan like at that moment. That's probably my favorite KO. Again, sorry to all the Darren Till fans, I know there are a lot of you. Dylan asks me, how hard can you piss? Logan Oxley asks, thoughts on Berg? I think he's talking about Berg's MMA. Well, for the people that are not from MMA Twitter, Berg's MMA is a very well-known account, and I think Berg's is a very nice guy. I like what he posts. I like his tweets. I don't really interact with him all that often, but he puts out a banger from time to time. So yeah, Berg's is a very nice guy. Thank you for your question, Logan. Even though you called me a slut in the follow-up reply, but it's all good. Chris MMA asks, in your opinion, who's the best and worst current champ in the UFC in terms of ability, and who's the best and worst current champ in the UFC in terms of fight hype? So, the best UFC champ in terms of ability at this moment, in my opinion, I think it's between Israel Adesanya and Khabib. Well, Khabib is officially still the champion. There's still no news on if he's coming back or not. So if Khabib would retire, I think Israel Adesanya has shown that he's one of the best strikers in the world right now. His takedown defense is also very good. Brunson struggled to take him down, and Joel Romero couldn't really hold him down in their fight. He's also shown some slick submission attempts, like the triangle against, I think it was triangle against Kelvin Gastelum. So yeah, I think in terms of ability, he's the best champion at the moment. The worst champion at the moment in terms of ability. I'm gonna say Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz is a very good veteran. I think he has loads of experience in the octagon, but I think compared to all the other champions, his skills just don't hold up. At the time of recording, Israel Adesanya versus Blachowicz also got announced like 15 minutes ago, and I think we will see Izzy become a double champ. But it's not that I don't like Blachowicz. I think Blachowicz is a very nice guy. I like his fighting style. I like the Polish power that he has. And of course, you can't not like him for knocking out Luke Rockhold. So, yeah. And the worst current champ in the UFC in terms of fight hype would be, I think Kamaru Usman. As a hardcore fan, I think an Usman fight is something to look forward to. But in terms of getting engagement from the casual audience, I don't think Kamaru Usman would do that for the casual fans to get them like really hyped for a fight. I just don't think his fighting style warrants that. The best current champ in terms of fight hype would also be Israel Adesanya. I think his rise through the rankings in the UFC is very similar to that of Conor McGregor's. Like his style, like flashy striking and trash talk. Granted that McGregor's trash talk is a bit better, a good bit better than Israel Adesanya's. I think he's kind of cringy sometimes, but still he gets the casuals engaged, and yeah, I think he's the best champ in terms of fight hype at this moment. Brock's Load asks, say something nice about Brock Lesnar. Not a question, I'm just demanding you to do it. I don't really like Brock Lesnar. I think that that WWE-esque promo with Daniel Cormier was kind of a black eye on the sport. So he's a big dude. That's the most I can say about him. Another one from Logan Oxley. Why won't you do the Macrib review? I've already told you this. I physically can't get a Macrib. We don't have Macribs in Belgium. I've been telling you that, but you don't listen. There's not gonna be a Macrib review, okay? I'm not even gonna do food reviews. I don't know why you keep asking me to do a Macrib review. I'm sorry, Logan. I can't. I would like to eat the Macrib, even though I hear it's very overrated, but I can't. I'm sorry. Stop asking me. Fucking dumbass. So, that's all the questions. I haven't answered all the questions. If your question wasn't featured, I'm sorry, don't be mad. I'm gonna do more Q&As in the future probably, but I just wanted to do this as a little introduction for the people who don't know me from MMA Twitter. So that being said, thank you for watching the video. Like I said, I don't know where this channel is gonna go. I'm just gonna have some fun with it. But I hope you guys stay tuned and keep watching, because I like creating content, and I think this is definitely something I want to keep on doing. I'm very excited to take you on this journey with me. So yeah, thank you for watching. Catch you later.